Overall, I am very pleasantly surprised with Shaman. I did not expect him to be nearly as good as he is. Hey, it is Zennial Gamer, and today we're gonna go on the Shaman adventure. I say adventure because I literally have not used him yet. I just 2A'd him. Now I'll tell you the reason I went with Shaman first, that is as a Zeratu counter. And to a lesser extent, Ragdoll, or, well, that's pretty much about it, actually. What he's gonna do is take the big damage-dealing dark monsters, and he gives me a tank for them. Now, obviously, Groggo, I think I have Groggo here, or I have Groggo in storage. Obviously, Groggo works just fine for Ragdoll, even to a lesser extent for Martina, but he's not a great counter for Zeratu, because Zeratu does so many hits. So Shaman has this passive that's been upgraded to reduce incoming damage from the dark attribute by 50%, and then also doubles the damage he does, and then takes that damage and turns it into healing for all of his allies. So when I saw this buff, my initial thought was, okay, this is like perfect for Zeratu. So with that in mind, we came up with this HP crit damage defense build, which is a really weird build, but partly it's just because it's how the runes worked out for me. Now, there's another thing that we want to consider whenever we're building a monster we don't know. There's no guidebook. It's a brand new monster. I very well might be the first person to have 2A'd this thing. I don't think he was the top of many people's lists. So we go look at their skill spill-ups. Skill multipliers. I don't even think I'm going to cut that stutter from the edit. That was pretty sad. But we look at their skill multipliers. So Shaman only has 2 skills. We have his Special Assault, which is going to scale to enemies' HP, which is perfect against Zeratu. And then we have the skill 1, which is doing the heal. And so the skill 1 multiplier is speed plus 90 divided by 0.55, which would make you think that you would want a speed slot 2 rune. However, again, I'm using him to counter Zeratu, and I want him to be tanky more than doing damage. I don't expect he's going to do a lot of damage either way. So what difference does an extra 2,000 damage that's going to heal all of my monsters by 600 HP make? Instead, we went for this build, which is, I don't remember exactly now, but I want to say it's about 220,000, 210,000 effective HP, which is really good to be able, when you're talking about taking half damage, it's like a 400k effective HP build that he's going to be able to take the hits from Zeratu. And then we went with crit damage because we want to try and take advantage of that heal as much as we can. We went with the will, and the will runes are pretty obvious. We went with revenge for the same obvious reason again, because we want to get the heal back, and then blade was just the set that happened to fit to give me the crit rate that I needed. And let's go test him out. Now, unfortunately, our guild war, I just looked through all the bases. I had waited to this afternoon to do this video, and there were no Zeratus. There were actually no dark threats whatsoever, so I'm probably not going to be able to showcase him in Guild War. We'll mostly be doing Arena. We're not going to see a Zeratu in Arena because they're really rare, but hopefully I can find some Ragdolls or some other interesting monsters that we can test out on. Okay, so we just found a Nyx in Arena, which is pretty rare. Nyx isn't really a huge damage dealer, but we are kind of limited because it's Monday afternoon, so I'm G2 right now, which is your best chance to obviously find dark monsters on defense, but early in the week there's a lot of random people up top, and we don't have a whole lot of options. So I am going to go ahead, I'm not going to boost with Bastet here because we really want to see Nyx get a turn, and I don't want to just go wipe out the whole team, so we'll do a little bit of a defense break, and I suppose we'll just start working on this Kumar because we don't want to get silenced. But we might get silenced anyway. All right, well, there we go. So let's see, Special Assault. Let's go ahead and Special Assault this Nyx and see how much damage we can do with no defense break, no buffs, nothing. 11k, that's genuinely not bad. Considering we had no buffs set up, nothing, he probably would have one-shot that Nyx. I gotta be honest, I wasn't actually expecting that much damage. I'm pretty happy. All right, let's go take a look at what we can do. We're going to drop it down to 1x speed because I want to see if we can see the heal at the same time, although we know it's 30% of inflicted damage. So we'll go ahead and 8k. That's legit. That was like a 2k AoE heal with no buffs, no defense break, nothing. Wow. That's legit. Okay, so we have found ourselves a Ragdoll we're going to test out this time. We are going to see now how the Ragdoll's obviously much more of a damage dealer, so we're going to see how the Shaman can handle tanking that Ragdoll, and also what kind of damage he can do to the Ragdoll. Alright, let's see what a Special Assault can do on this Ragdoll. 11-3, and again, so attack buff this time, but no defense break. So I guess we would have done about 16k on the Ragdoll, which would have been about half his HP. That's not bad. So the Shaman is now getting targeted by Perna with obviously no damage reduction on Perna. But the Ragdoll did 1400 damage. He's going to die before I ever get to take a turn, it looks like, though, unfortunately. At least we popped the Triana there. Wow! That was actually pretty impressive, the amount that he managed to tank right there. Okay, so here is one interesting use that I might find for Shaman, which is whenever I'm facing these Miho defenses, I like to use Ciara to kill Miho, but if there's a Triana on defense, then you have to wait a few turns. You have to get through the Triana before you kill the Miho. And if the Miho randomly targets the Ciara, then the fight can kind of go on forever. So let's go ahead and give Shaman a defense buff also. 700 damage. Of course, there was a little bit of shield left there, but basically 700 damage. How about we return the favor? Looked like 11k damage, and again, no defense break there. So, whoa! Procky Ragdoll. But even then, I'd like to watch this in slow-mo, but I survived that first turret. Okay, we're learning a few things about our Shaman here. The first thing we're learning is that if we want to use him as a Ragdoll counter, the defense is less valuable. I should be focusing more on HP so that I can survive those ignore defense torrents. The second thing I've learned is that his damage is actually pretty respectable, so I might like to try him on a higher speed build. And the last thing I've learned is that I definitely want to have some resistance on him. And really, you know, he's already got 20 added resistance through his passive, but if I'm using him basically primarily as a tank, I don't want him to spend the entire fight defense broken, stunned, he died to continuous damage in one of these tests. So we're learning quite a bit here. Dark Monkey there. Okay, let's see how much damage we can do. So Odin did 13k with 3 stacks, right? How about my 16k with my Shaman? So the Shaman hit harder than an Odin with 3 stacks. That was quite impressive. So it's funny because in this video I'm like actually doing terrible in most of these fights because I'm just testing stuff out, and it may not come across like he may not actually look that powerful in the video because I'm losing these fights, but I'm not trying to win these fights right now. What I'm trying to do is evaluate the potential for this monster, and I am seeing a hell of a lot more potential than I actually expected, honestly. I mean, look at that. That was 10k on a revenge counter with a 3k AoE heal right there. So, I'm actually pretty excited about Shaman. I did not expect him to be this good, I have to admit. And I think we're going to give him some better runes. We're going to go do a rune upgrade and then test a little bit more, so I'll be back. Okay, so we're over here in the optimizer, and I'm not going to take you through the whole process that I just went through, but I do want to show you a couple of things. So here's his current build. Here's his current build, 28k HP, 1800 defense, which is effective HP of 212. 23 resistance is actually 43 because of the passive. Almost no accuracy because he doesn't need it. The overall set was 94% efficiency. So right now, my average damage is 5808 based on these calculations, which is close but not perfect. When you double that, I'm doing just shy 11.6, just shy of 12k. So then we've programmed in some basic stuff up here. We want a build that emphasizes HP, defense, speed, crit rate, and resistance. Here's some basic minimum stats we're looking for. Now I ran through a bunch of different sets. So I didn't have any violent or despair sets that looked like they would work for what I wanted. I did have a decent rage set. So this rage set is 210 speed. It does 7200 damage, which is actually 14.6 or 14.5. So it's a significant upgrade in damage from where I'm at for just a very little reduction in effective HP and about the same speed. Then we went through and just ran a bunch of 2x2x2 sets to see if I could do the same thing better, because the rage set would have involved me taking a couple of runes off other monsters. Not important ones, but still. And it looks like we can do the same thing better. I've got 52 builds that are all coming up with roughly the same numbers. So I'm going to come up here and make a couple of adjustments. We'll go 7,000 damage at a minimum. We're going to say we want 225 speed, and we'll shrink this list down. And then here's the big thing. We want resistance, which the rage set did not give us. Now, one piece of advice. I don't believe that anything under about 85 resistance is ever worthwhile. Any monster that has decent skills on its skill 1, so like for example, Galleon, Orion, those will, if you're fighting a competent person, will always have max accuracy. So resistance does you no good anyway. If it has 85 accuracy, your 100 resistance is the same thing as 0 resistance. It's the other monsters in between that we think about. Think about like a Ritesh on defense. A Ritesh has that AoE defense break which can wreck you, but most people are probably going to build it with 35 to 55 accuracy. If you have max resistance, that cuts the success rate about in half. But if you have 55 resistance, then you may as well have none, because if your resistance is the same or within 15 of their accuracy, then it's all just wasted stats. So giving your monster something between 30, 40, 50 resistance is just pure wasted efficiency. So when you do a resistance build, you want to get as high and as close to 100 as you can. Now with my Shaman, the closest I could find to get decent stats was this particular build right here. This double blade indoor gets me to 89 resistance with the passive. Okay, so we have gone ahead and re-runed our Shaman, and we're on now it's double blade indoor. You'll see that he's about 20, I think 15 speed faster than he was before. I've given up a lot of defense, but I've boosted my HP a little bit, which will help to prevent like a Ragdoll ignore defense torrent type thing. We've boosted our resistance. The 69 is actually 89 because of the passive, and we've boosted our crit rate and our crit damage. Okay, we found another one of these Ragdoll defenses, so we're just going to bring in basically the Bastet and the Amelia to stack and protect the Odin. The Amelia also to keep this John from making it a forever fight. And we're going to try and ignore that Ragdoll for a little bit and see what he's going to do to our Shaman. We'll slow the speed down here a little bit also. Actually, no we don't. I can slow it in video editing instead. Alright, so we will start off just by trying to nuke out that Triana. And we're nicely buffed up here. Okay, let's see if Shaman can finish the Triana. 7k. I mean, that's not terrible because it's not the... I didn't get the benefit on the dark attribute there either. And they didn't even break through his shield. So that's not bad to start. Let's see if we can just freeze this Perna. $671 damage. Okay, but the shield is gone now, so let's see what Ragdoll does. But remember, so the Bastet shield is 4,800. The Ragdoll has hit Shaman twice, so the Ragdoll has done 5,400 in 2 hits. Alright, couldn't get the freeze there, but that's okay. Let's see if we can finish this Perna. Alright, let's see what the Ragdoll's gonna do. 2,000. 2,000 damage on the Torrent. Alright, let's see if we can get this Ragdoll down to, like, ignore defense level. No, my Odin would kill him, so we better chase this Perna. That's perfect. Let's see what we can do to Ragdoll. Let's go with the skill 1, not even the skill 2. Let's go skill 1. Ragdoll... 7k. I might have missed the crit, though. I think I missed the crit. Alright, so we're re-shielded a little bit. We're also rebuffed. We'll keep chasing the Perna over here. Skill 1 again. 10k. With a 3k AoE heal. Okay, we're going in against Shana Martina, and so this one's a little bit iffy. I use Grago against this comp normally, but let's see what we can do here. The problem is I didn't change comps, I acted too quickly, so I don't know how I'm actually going to manage to kill that Shana. But let's see what happens here. Okay, so we got the resistances as we should have with our Shaman. They got down on my Odin pretty quick. Shaman could not finish off the Triana, but that's to be expected because she's not dark. Can we get a freeze? We got a freeze. Can we say goodbye to Odin? Wow, they did nothing to the Shaman. But I'm not going to be able to kill that Triana fast enough with the Shaman. That's going to be the problem here. So, but we'll still keep seeing, I mean, they're doing absolutely nothing The Shana eventually, it looks like, got through. But yeah, that Martina is completely useless against the Shaman. And that 89 resistance is holding up well enough as well. Martina is normally not a high resistance build monster. So anyway, this is a lost fight, but it was interesting to watch how long the Shaman... to be honest, that Shaman tanked longer, I think, than my Grago. Much longer than my Grago normally survives. It took a lot of hits. So I'm thinking Shaman might actually wind up being an upgrade against Shana Martina type comps. You would just not want to have the Amelia Odin in there. If I was actually building for this team, I wouldn't have Amelia Odin. I'd probably use Oki and Ciara or something like that. Okay guys, so that's going to be it for this video. I really wish I could have found a Xeraatu to test because I see Shaman as the Halfus is the ultimate Xeraatu counter. But for those of us who don't have Halfus, I see Shaman as the second best Xeraatu counter in the game, so I really wish I could have tested on one. But I think the testing we did was very enlightening. So in closing, these would be my thoughts and recommendations on Shaman. First of all, I am really pleasantly surprised. I did not expect him to be anywhere near as good as he is. The damage he does is pretty significant if you look at the build that I have him in right now, and for a defense type monster. He would definitely be tankier using defense runes like I had in that initial build, but if you're going to use him to counter Ragdolls, then I would look at something like HP crit damage HP or speed crit damage HP so that you can handle the ignore defense hit from Ragdoll. 11k base HP is still really good anyway, so you're still getting almost the same benefit. I would definitely go with a crit damage build. So whether you're doing speed crit damage HP or HP crit damage HP, you want to make sure your crit rate is going to be 70 or higher at least. You want to maximize the speed as much as you can. If you use the optimizer, pick your build based on the total damage output. This build that I have here right now is doing, I think we did 12k with our skill 1 on a crit against the Dark Monster. And then that healed my entire team for 3k. That's very, I'm very happy with that. And then if you saw, the Ragdoll was basically couldn't do anything. The Martina couldn't do anything. And a lot of that was that extra resistance build that we added on the end. So I do see taking advantage of that 20 resistance passive. If you can get a better build than me, if you can get him up to 100%, that's great. It's not a monster you're going to use constantly. It's still primarily a Xeraatu counter. So I wouldn't over-invest in the rune set. And so if you're around 90, 80 resistance, that's well, and that being said, I mean 60 to 70 because of the passive, then that's probably perfectly fine. But overall, I am very pleasantly surprised with Shaman. I did not expect him to be nearly as good as he is. Honestly, I didn't expect any of the Griffins, didn't excite me. But Shaman's definitely a monster I can see myself using consistently in guild content. He's not going to be an arena monster. He's just too slow. He doesn't fit the arena meta. But for guild content, absolutely, this is a surprisingly good monster. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I hope you found this helpful, and we'll see you next time. Hey, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please pop that subscribe button over on the left. It shows me that you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, it shows me that you found the information useful and hopefully it helped you in your gameplay. So here's the deal. You pop subscribe and I'll keep popping out content. Thanks, guys.